You see them every single day, right? In the news, at your job, scrolling on your phone, they're everywhere. But are we really getting the story they're trying to tell us? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to decode all of that. We're going to learn how to read charts and graphs not just as pictures, but as the powerful stories they really are. Let's jump in. The thing is, we're surrounded by information. We are swimming in numbers, stats, and figures. But here's the catch. On its own, raw data, it's pretty much just noise. To make any sense of it, we've got to translate it into a language our brains are actually built to understand. And that language is visuals. And that's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? A long list of numbers doesn't feel like an answer. It feels like a chore. It's just static. It forces your brain to work way too hard just to figure out what's important, what's changed, or what you should even be paying attention to in the first place. I mean, just look at this table for a second. Your eyes are kind of jumping all over the place, aren't they? Which department has the most people? Where's the biggest gender gap? Yeah, the answers are in there somewhere, but you have to hunt for them. This isn't a story, it's work. And this is where the magic happens. This is where data visualization comes in. It's the art of turning that confusing wall of numbers into a clear, compelling story, using something incredibly simple: shapes, colors, and lines. So why even bother with charts? Well, it's because our brains are fundamentally wired for visuals. A good chart is like a shortcut. It bypasses all the hard work of reading a spreadsheet and delivers the main point almost instantly. It doesn't just tell you the point, it lets you see it for yourself. So today, we're going to meet three of the most essential players in the world of data storytelling: the bar chart, the pie chart, and a line graph. Think of them as your basic toolkit. Each one has its own personality and, more importantly, a very specific job to do. First up, we've got the real workhorse of the data world, the bar chart. If your main goal is to compare things side by side, this is absolutely your go-to tool.
The bar chart's job is beautifully simple: compare stuff. It follows one super easy rule: the longer the bar, the bigger the value. That's it. It's perfect for seeing in a split second who's winning, what's the biggest, or how things rank against each other.
Okay, look how fast you can pull a story out of this. Your eyes are immediately drawn to those green bars, right? You can just see Hyundai's steady climb. And then you notice the blue bars, and you see how Honda kind of dipped in the middle. That whole story took what, maybe 3 seconds to figure out? That's the power of a good bar chart. Now, every bar chart has the same basic parts. The title tells you what it's all about. The X and Y axes give you the context, what's being measured, and the scale. And if you've got different colors, the legend is your decoder ring. Pretty simple, right? And this slide is great because it shows just how versatile these things are. The chart on the left, it's comparing 3 completely different car brands over time. The one on the right is taking a single group, nursing home patrons, and breaking it down by age. So you have the same tool telling 2 totally different kinds of stories: comparison versus distribution. So what is the big difference here? It's the story they're telling. One is a race between competitors, the other is a snapshot of one group's makeup. The key takeaway is that even with the same type of chart, you have to know what kind of story you're trying to tell. So, with that in mind, let's look at a different kind of storyteller. Okay, let's meet our next tool, the pie chart. Now, if the bar chart is all about comparing different things, the pie chart is focused on one thing, showing you how a single whole is broken down into its parts. Just think of it like a pizza. The whole pie is 100%, and each slice shows you what percentage of the total a certain category takes up. If you're talking about market share, how a budget is spent, or maybe survey results, the pie chart is your best friend. This is a perfect example. You don't even have to read the numbers to get the main point. Your brain instantly sees that huge blue slice and just knows that food is the biggest chunk of this budget. The main story is delivered in less than a second. It's that fast. And the anatomy here is even simpler. You've got your title, of course, the legend, which tells you what each color means, and then the slices themselves, which all add up to 100% of the story. And here's another one. One glance and you know the story. Fresh graduates are the dominant group of drivers in this data, making it more than half the total. With a pie chart, it's all about seeing that whole picture and its parts, instantly. And that brings us to our final storyteller for today. So if bar charts compare and pie charts show proportion, the line graph does something totally different. It tells the story of a journey over time. It is the ultimate trend spotter. A line graph basically just connects the dots. Each point is a moment in time, like a snapshot, and the line between them shows the journey. Is it going up? Down? Is it all over the place? The line tells the story of that trend. Let's look at this chart of petrol prices. You can immediately see the journey each price took over 4 years. See how that red line, RON 97, spiked way up in 2013 and then just dropped like a rock in 2014? And how the blue line, RON 95, was a bit more chaotic at the start? That's the story of a trend in action.
And the anatomy here should look pretty familiar, right? Just like the bar chart, it has a title and 2 axes. But with a line graph, the real hero of the story is the line itself. That's what shows the flow, the momentum, the change over time.
So there you have it. That's our visual toolkit. We've met 3 incredibly powerful storytellers, and each one has a very specific job. You're now equipped to move beyond just seeing charts and start really understanding the stories they're telling. You know, the most important skill is knowing which tool to use for which job. So here's the cheat sheet. To compare different things, grab a bar chart. To show the proportions of a whole, use a pie chart. And to track a trend over time, the line graph is your best bet. Compare, proportion, trend. If you can remember those 3 words, you're already halfway to telling a great data story. So from now on, when you see a chart, don't just see shapes and colors. Just pause for a second and ask yourself one simple question. What story is this trying to tell me? I promise you'll be amazed at the world of information that suddenly opens up.